What's going on, everyone? This is Michael Stewart-Isaacs.
And this is Shemekka Ebony.
And this is your next edition of
Sunday Stacks.
Sunday Stacks. Yes, we are back. Excited, charged up, rejuvenated, coming off of a lot of great energy. And we are super pumped to get into this episode today. So much to undress, so much to unpack. And we're just ready to just definitely give you all what you come to expect from Sunday Stacks. As we get started, we always like to thank our sponsor. First of all, we want to say shout out to I Am Brilliant. You know I Am Brilliant, that production team that brings you the Sunday Stacks platform. And we give a special shout out to the sponsors that partner with us through our entrepreneur. We have QuickBooks. Thank you, QuickBooks, for always giving us what we need to stay organized as entrepreneurs. And we thank you for the support and the connection we have here at Sunday Stacks to continue to inspire those out there that are fans of our program to definitely check out QuickBooks. Click the link in the description. You will get a discount from QuickBooks to get started on your small business journey. So definitely look forward to you connecting with us and continuing using the right products to make sure that you can empower your family, community, and your company. As always, Shemekka, you have any sponsors you want to give some love to?
Yes, I want to shout out Forum. Thank you for creating a virtual peer space where we can connect and build and grow as leaders. And so coming up in May, I just want to lift this up. You can join me in an online virtual peer support group around DEI champions and leaders. We want to connect with you to build the strategy around healing yourself, self-care, being restored, having your reboot, all those things that are so significant in you being able to be the best version of yourself in the workplace. So definitely check that out. You can sign up until May 7th or up until we are full. We will offer a wait list, but shout out to Forum. You can find that link on Shemekka.com under upcoming events. I'd love to see you there.
Awesome. We always want to make sure we're giving you the tools to create not just empowerment or inspiration, but an impact. We want to continue to give you the tools to create impact around your family, your community, your company. As we look to really just celebrate some of what we've been rocking and rolling here at Sunday Stacks in partnership with our production team, I Am Brilliant, we have been producing the I Am Brilliant tour. Yes, I Am Brilliant is on a indefinite tour to continue to come to cities that truly just need this level of empowerment and engagement. I Am Brilliant is about being a think tank for thought leaders, meaning we are awakening you, yes, with that simple question of what makes you brilliant. We want to intrigue you to know that you are the leadership that you are looking for to empower your family, your community, your company. And I Am Brilliant and the I Am Brilliant tour experience has kicked off, and we're always excited to go, whether we bring the whole family out, whether we go together, me and Shemekka as a dynamic duo, or we go solo. We always continue to bring the sign, we bring the tour, we bring the movement and the phenomenon of I Am Brilliant. And this week we have not disappointed. Shemekka, where have you returned to? Can you tell the people where the tour was this week as we look to see how our Sundays have stacked up?
Absolutely. Sunday stacked up really good this week as we were on the road in Boston, had an opportunity to connect with some incredible people. I serve as an equity coach for a fireside chat series, and we were happy to be able to be with some incredible, brilliant souls that represented communities and organizations across the United States, as well as I also give a shout out to a PhD candidate, Alec Hall. I got a chance to meet in person with one of my scholars that I've been working with as a leadership coach for a couple of years with HPRS. And so that was real enlightening, empowering the work he's doing around mental health and his pursuit in his PhD, centering and focusing on adolescents and school psychology. I'm always happy to hear about some incredible stuff that he has going on as well as others. And we had some opportunity in the training to really address how we look at ourselves, how we connect with one another with the human experience, and get around real conversations around health equity and naming racism and how it's showing up in communities. So with all of that, I also had joy fill my cup this week in going to the WNDR Museum which was a pretty incredible experience. I Am Brilliant did a pop-up there and just really had an opportunity to experience this incredible museum that I think just opened recently in Boston for its Boston chapter.
And I tell you all, when you see this, I mean, Shemekka is just holding on to such amazing content. And as always, we usually share our content across our platform, the I Am Brilliant, you, the letter U, R, the letter R, and the number 2. I Am Brilliant, you are too. You can find that on our Instagram as well as we're on YouTube, just right like the Sunday Stacks show. And we would like for you to like and subscribe. We also have our I Am Brilliant primary channel here on YouTube as well. So please jump over there after you finish listening to this episode and definitely like and subscribe both here in Sunday Stacks. Share and tell a friend about some of these amazing stories.
Absolutely. I want to lift up just the powerful thing about experiencing Boston was that this book found me called Making Big Happen. And I was surprised, but just enamored with the amount of content and information. Was I actually with this book pop-up, I did a swap, so I left my book and did this trade. And what a value that this book has been, just really giving a great information and content from a coaching perspective with business. And so if you have read it, hit us up in the comments or check it out, Making Big Happen by Mark Moses.
And with that, we are looking into our topic this week. We want to talk about making big happen. As we were trying to allude this week to Sunday Stacks and I Am Brilliant, we were stacking up with the tour being out in Boston. There was phenomenal pop-ups that Shemekka was able to create just to get a vibe and feel of the city of Boston. So shout out to the city of Boston for the love, the energy, just creating a different vibrancy. But as we look to take us into the topic, we do want to think about what does it mean to make big happen? And as we think about it, we want you to put some comments in there. What does it mean to make big happen? Making big happen, whether it's for your family, your community, or your company. We definitely want to make sure that we look at ways that we can do big things that continue to empower us all and continue to allow for us to really grow and strive for a lot of opportunities that we can do that are really just not limited to the things that go wrong, but empowered by every little thing that we have in our hand to make things go right. And I think sometimes we look so much at other people's results that we ourselves overlook our own. And part of making big happen, we like to think here at Sunday Stacks, how do we apply that across the board? How do we look at that for our families, our communities, and our companies as a full totality? With looking at this and thinking about your trip and where we're looking to go next with this tour, what is it that making big happens mean to you in regards to this I Am Brilliant tour, or even what Sunday Stacks can be? You are a leader, Shemekka. You have so many businesses, so many brands. You have the Black Girl Magic Market. You have your book, While I'm Getting Naked. You have your follow-up book, Sanctuary Life. I mean, you make big happen if I was to be someone listening and really just aware of everything you're out here doing. But what is it that you can do across your different brands and titles and different projects that you're doing to continue making big happen? What would you give as advice to the listeners out there?
I would say give yourself grace to what I like to call Edward Scissorhands your way through. And if you don't know that reference, definitely go check out the movie. It's a great analogy to understanding how you personally develop and become who you were created to be. It does sometimes mean trial and error, and I learned this when I was doing the initiative 100 Million Healthier Lives about fail meaning the first attempt in learning. So don't be afraid to fail forward fast, and frequently, because you won't know better sometimes in some cases until you try some things and find what fits for you.
So when I'm thinking about making big happen, people like, I want to have a big house. I want to have a big car. I want to have a big watch. I want to be the big man and all these
Count up the cost.
I mean, hey, right? I think sometimes people don't realize heavy is the head that bears the crown, And sometimes having big, having a lot also comes with price tags. It comes with your responsibility levels having to be so heightened. You have to be the boss. You have to be the check, cutter, meaning you're the one who signs on the check to make sure everyone's taken care of. And I realized in actually being a part of making big happen, throughout my career, I think about it, right? I started in music, doing promotions. I was a street team kid who was very ambitious, was a promoter. And then I also started a clothing brand. And this was all in high school. And this just allowed for a lot of doors to open up for me and me to constantly be inspired even today as a motivational speaker, as a professional, in the marketplace, just really seeing how many things you can do with a little bit of a whisper and just some effort. And I think that's kind of, the spirit that we want you all as our audience to really just understand. Like me and Shemekka, we different kind of leaders. Like making big happen is like an everyday protocol. This is not something for me to like overthink. Like this is just a natural lifestyle. And I think just energetically, just vibing with us and listening to our program and our content, you realize we ain't never scared. Like we're always going to make big happen. We're going to always turn every environment into an atmosphere, into an ecosystem, and really start vibing with people out there. And I think making big happen is just like, it's a beautiful thing. I think as business owners who are just constantly in the busyness of it, we're all trying to organize ourselves. We're all trying to make sure, like right now it's tax season, right? Right here in this episode, Sunday Stacks, taxes are due for a lot of you out there before, April 15th. So definitely make sure to get those taxes done, because that's a part of your making big happen. But don't
And you
forget,
can always tell this time of year, right? Because there are people that you may be connected to that filed like in December.
right?
And there are people that you are connected to that are waiting until this weekend to get it done. And the big difference is getting money back and having to pay money.
Yeah.
And when you are focused on your family, community, and company, these could be distressing conversations or thoughts or fears to move forward. But we just want to encourage you to remember where you are, remember what you're called to do, and don't be afraid to get naked, even with your financials, getting a professional to help support you, especially to our business owners, those that are have not filed, then we get it. We understand. Make sure that you go over and check things, triple check, so that you can get the most out of your return. You can maximize your business as what it's supposed to do to help support you, create that generational wealth by holding on to it.
Yes, and I think that energy is just constantly a part of just being thoughtful going forward. Like how many times in our life do we end up in the same position year over year? And I think making big happen also means making big improvements on yourself. I'm a big person about character and mindset and making sure that those things are in alignment with what big actually comes with, right? The responsibility. If you want that boat, you need to make sure you have somewhere to keep it so it don't get rained on or don't
gas you need for that boat.
Exactly. You need to understand you got to buy the
hurricane insurance.
Insurance. You got to get the little carrier to, carry the boat to the place. Like there's more expenses that are always associated with that thing you want. And you just always have to be willing to go the full distance, pay the full cost. And I think that's part of what making big happen feels like, right? So all of this is just opinions of us humbly here at Sunday Stacks. This is all based off a collaborative book by Mark Moses, Making Big Happen, applying the Make Big Happen system to grow big. I mean, even the title itself is just audacious in itself. My version of this is what I call entrepaganda. This is the thing that, we bring you all the best things. What we talking about making big happen. Entrepaganda is about being big and bold and telling your story in the correct way to understand that that's your living asset and how you really leverage that in regards to creating new opportunities for yourself. And
I love that.
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, everything we do, all the projects I named that you do, all the things that I'm working on, it's all connected through this I Am Brilliant movement, through what we're doing here at Sunday Stacks. And week for week, month for month, year for year. We're always looking at how these things stack up. And that's what we're here to encourage you, is how to examine these things and start thinking differently, how you're making big happen in your life. That's why we wanted to title this, because the I Am Brilliant tour done kicked off. Shemekka done been to Boston. We got more cities on the horizon, right? So it's like, you all look out. We just want you all to see what we're building. Continue to know it's for the people, it's for the community.
Connect with us.
Exactly. We're community champion certified all day. So we definitely want to make sure that you all understand that the real is back, and we're focused on what we can do to continue to give empowerment and really make sure that that empowerment always creates a lasting impact that will create an income in your life. And that's the difference here at Sunday Stacks and with us in the FCC model, which is family, community, and company. So with that, we are about to transition into what I like to call my favorite part of the week. We call that the Whiz of the Week. Yes, the Whiz of the Week. The Whiz of the Week. Yes, we're back. The Whiz of the Week. And this episode, we definitely know what the obvious Whiz of the Week was this week. We had a solar eclipse. Yes, there was a solar eclipse that took center stage. If you were in certain places, whether in Texas or somewhere in Mexico, you were able to see it right on. You were able to see a beautiful, full-on eclipse where the moon and the sun have a convergence, and you're seeing a beautiful thing that makes it feel like nighttime, and it's like the eye of Horus or something you're staring at up in the sky. For people like us who were in different parts of the East Coast, you might have saw a little crescent that, was able to see. And for those who look directly at the sun, I'm sorry for your eyes right now, but we definitely were.
You will not get disability.
You will not get disability, but we will make sure that those who were able to see the eclipse, because you had specialty glasses like we had, to make sure you could see it. And anything about the eclipse, you could definitely see it on our platforms on I Am Brilliant, Michael Stewart-Isaacs, Shemekka Ebony. We got different clips of us and the Brilliant Bunch enjoying the eclipse with our family, but definitely everyone was into the eclipse this week. And also this week, we had the death of O.J. Simpson. Yes, Orenthal James Simpson, O.J. Simpson, to those who know him. Popular for so many things, particularly playing the sport of football. He played for several teams and was able to be almost, a living legend. O.J. was as a running back in the NFL. And O.J. also had a lot of great commercial deals and opportunities. But eventually his career was marred by the unfortunate situation where he was acquitted of the murder of his ex-wife and her friend Ron Goldman. Was the popular trial in the 90s. Anybody that grew up in the 90s heard about the O.J. Simpson trial. So if you never heard about that man back then for sports, you definitely heard about him for this trial, because it was everywhere. It's probably the beginning of the internet in terms of
if it don't
gossip.
fit, quit.
Yeah, if it don't fit, you gotta quit. So definitely shout out to Johnny Cochran, the late Johnny Cochran, who was on the case. One of the Kardashians. This is where the Kardashian legacy starts, where their father, the Kardashians' father, Robert Kardashian, was on the actual case. He was one of OJ's friends as well as attorneys. There's so much history and so much that started with the O.J. Simpson trial that still to this day is connected to us in our U.S., our social society, when we really break it down, the effect O.J. had in regards to culture. So, different people love it or hate it. Different people have different opinions on whether or not this man got away with murder or whether or not he paid his justice because he ended up going to jail for some other foolishness. But either way, O.J. Simpson definitely was a living legend, infamous in so many ways. So having him, lost life is definitely a unique thing to reflect on, as we definitely have a country that is always trying to figure its place out when it comes to racial tensions, as well as different types of, bigotries or violence that we may see in our country. We definitely want to utilize the memory of O.J. Simpson for what he may have done great on the football field, but definitely as a cautionary tale for those out there who create relationships that are toxic, unhealthy, that can ever lead you into a position that you may not want to be caught up in.
That's so good and powerful. And just want to also lift up that this he died with a cancer diagnosis, and so his children, his family members are experiencing and mourning the loss. So for those that feel like this is vindication, just also extend your grace and understand balance, that this is a human being that made poor choices, that has family that cares for him and misses him. So that they may mourn in peace. Just be mindful of that and say a little prayer for the survivors.
So, as always, there's always things we can unpack, always the Wizard of the Week. We try to bring you just something a little bit intriguing, something to make you think a little bit different about the normal gossip that's out there in the market. Sunday Stacks, we try to think about things a little bit more thoughtful, right? Again, the credence and the code of what we do with I Am Brilliant is about being thought leaders. So we hope we stimulate a little bit of thought within you. We hope that the different thoughts of what it means to making big happen really becomes something that you take on as a mantra. Shemekka, is there anything else you want to share with the audience before we wrap?
Yes, April is Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month. Be mindful of that, thinking about all of the silent victims and open victims of sexual violence, child sexual abuse that may be experiencing this on their journey. If I could lift up one thing, I'll definitely shout out you, Michael, for being such a phenomenal and amazing partner, friend, confidant, and caretaker to me, my being a survivor of sexual violence in my life, that you can manage me in my growth and development and being able to handle me with care in being in relationship with the survivor. So thank you. I'd like to close with that. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you, Boo Boo. You make it easy to love you. And I'm grateful that we have our relationship and how we're able to continue to build and grow. And thank you for those out there who want to continue to enjoy Sunday Stacks. Please simply tell a friend to tell a friend, like and subscribe. Definitely leave a comment. Let's engage. Let's grow these numbers here. We got the best podcast that more people need to be aware of. So definitely we appreciate you tuning in to this edition of Sunday Stacks. As always, I am Michael Stewart-Isaacs. You can find me at Michael Stewart-Isaacs. Definitely will have all that in the description. But Shemekka, you want them to find you on all platforms, right?
Absolutely. And if you're wondering where those platforms are, just start with ShemekkaEbony.com, and we can connect on social media by searching that hashtag or searching my name, Shemekka.
I love it. So, as always, as we wrap the show, we love to tell you, I am brilliant, and you are too. Thank you again for enjoying this edition of Sunday Stacks, and we'll see you next week. Peace.